My name is Robert Chen, and in 1952, in a North Korean prison camp called Camp 5, I ate things that no human being should ever put in their mouth. Things that still make me sick when I think about them. Things that kept me alive but took away a part of my humanity I've never gotten back. Korea, winter of 1951. I was 24 years old, Marine Corps, captured during the retreat from the Chosin Reservoir. We were surrounded, outnumbered, freezing. When the Chinese overran our position, I had two choices: die fighting or surrender. I chose to surrender. I thought I was choosing life. I was wrong. They marched us north, hundreds of us, American and British prisoners, marched us through snow and ice, with no food, no water, no shelter. Men died on that march, froze to death where they fell, collapsed from exhaustion, and were left behind. By the time we reached Camp 5, we'd lost half our number, and the ones who made it wished they hadn't. Camp 5 was hell. Not the biblical kind, with fire and brimstone. The frozen kind. Wooden barracks with no heat. Thin blankets that did nothing against the cold. And the food. They fed us twice a day. A bowl of millet gruel in the morning. A ball of rice at night. Maybe 600 calories total, if you were lucky. Your body needs 2,000 calories a day just to survive. We were getting less than a third of that. Men started dying within weeks. Starvation, disease, dysentery, pneumonia. Your body starts eating itself when there's no food. Burns through fat first, then muscle, then organs. You waste away, become a skeleton with skin stretched over it. Your eyes sink into your skull. Your ribs show through your chest. You stop feeling hungry after a while. You just feel empty. I watched men die. Good men, strong men. They'd lie down one night and never wake up. Or they'd wake up and their mind would be gone. They'd talk to people who weren't there, see things that didn't exist. Starvation does that. It doesn't just kill your body, it kills your mind. After 3 months, I was dying. I knew it. Everyone knew it. I'd lost maybe 70 pounds, could barely stand, could barely think. And I realized that if I didn't do something, I'd be dead within a week. So I started looking for food, real food, anything. There were rats in the camp, big ones, fed on corpses and garbage. Most of the prisoners wouldn't touch them. Too disgusting, too degrading. But I was past caring about dignity. I caught one, killed it with my hands, and I ate it, raw, because we had no way to cook anything. I ate the whole thing, meat, organs, everything. It tasted like death, like decay. But it was protein, it was calories, it kept me alive another few days. After the rats, I started eating insects. Anything that moved. Beetles, worms, spiders when I could find them. I dig through the dirt looking for grubs, peel bark off trees looking for larvae. Other prisoners watched me do this, and they looked at me like I was an animal. Maybe I was. Maybe that's what starvation does, turns you back into something primal. But even that wasn't enough. The insects were too small, too few. I needed more. And that's when I started eating things that weren't alive, weren't food, weren't meant to be consumed by anything. I ate leather, cut strips off my boots with a piece of metal I'd found, boiled them in melted snow until they were soft enough to chew. Leather has no nutritional value. Your body can't digest it. But it fills your stomach, tricks your brain into thinking you've eaten, gives you a few more hours before the hunger comes back. I ate grass, pulled it from the ground and chewed it until it was pulp. Most of it came back up, made me sick, but some of it stayed down. And maybe it gave me something, some fiber, some trace nutrients. I don't know. I just know I kept doing it because the alternative was dying. I ate tree bark, scraped it off with my fingernails, and chewed it until my gums bled. The inner bark, the soft part between the outer bark and the wood, that's supposedly edible. I don't know if it kept me alive or if I was just too stubborn to die, but I ate it, day after day, until my mouth was raw and my teeth felt loose. The worst was the dirt. I know how that sounds. I know what you're thinking. But when you're starving, when your body is screaming for nutrients, for minerals, for anything, you'll try anything. I ate handfuls of dirt, swallowed it, tried to keep it down. Sometimes it worked. Sometimes I threw it all back up. But I kept trying, because dying slowly from starvation is worse than the taste of mud in your mouth. Other prisoners saw what I was doing. Some of them started copying me, started eating the same things. We became a group, a tribe of men who'd abandoned humanity to survive. We didn't talk about it, didn't acknowledge it. We just did what we had to do. There were prisoners who refused, who said they'd rather die than degrade themselves like that, who said eating rats and dirt meant you'd already lost, that you were no better than an animal. And maybe they were right, but they died. Every single one of them, and I'm still here. One man, a British soldier named Thompson. He tried to stop me once, grabbed my arm while I was eating a beetle. He said, "For God's sake, man, have some dignity." And I looked at him, looked at his sunken eyes and his skeletal frame. And I said, "Dignity doesn't keep you alive." He died 2 weeks later. I'm still here. The North Koreans didn't care what we ate, didn't try to stop us. If anything, they found it amusing. They'd watch us scrabbling in the dirt like animals, and they'd laugh. They'd throw things at us sometimes, rocks, garbage, see if we'd eat it. And we did, because we had no choice. The only thing that kept me going was knowing that if I died, they won. The North Koreans, the Chinese, everyone who wanted us to break, to give up, to become nothing. And I refused. I refused to let them win. So I ate the rats and the insects and the leather and the bark and the dirt. I was in that camp for 18 months. 18 months of eating things that weren't food. 18 months of becoming something less than human to stay alive. When the armistice was signed in 1953 and they released us, I weighed 98 pounds. I'd been 170 when I was captured. I'd lost almost half my body weight. They sent me to a hospital in Japan, fed me intravenously because my stomach couldn't handle real food anymore. Spent 3 months relearning how to eat, how to digest, how to keep food down. And the whole time, all I could taste was dirt and leather and rat meat. I came home in December 1953. My family barely recognized me. I was gaunt, hollow. My mother cried when she saw me. My father couldn't look at me, and I couldn't explain to them what I'd done to survive. Couldn't tell them about the rats, about the dirt, about the degradation. I tried to go back to normal life. Got a job, got married, had kids, but I couldn't eat like a normal person. Every meal was a battle, because part of my brain still remembered what starvation felt like, still remembered being so hungry that I'd eat anything. And even though I had food now, real food, good food, I couldn't enjoy it, couldn't trust it. I'd hoard food, hide it in closets, under the bed, in my car. My wife would find it and ask me why. Why was I hiding bread? Why was I hiding canned goods? And I couldn't explain that I was terrified of being hungry again. Terrified that the food would disappear, that I'd have to go back to eating dirt. My kids grew up thinking I was strange, obsessive. They'd see me finish their leftovers, see me eat things they'd thrown away, and they'd ask me why I couldn't just let food go to waste. And I'd tell them they didn't understand. They'd never been hungry. Real hunger. The kind that makes you eat things that aren't food. I'm 78 years old now. It's been 71 years since Camp 5. 71 years since I ate rats and insects and leather and dirt. And I still taste it sometimes. Still wake up with the taste of mud in my mouth. Still feel that emptiness in my stomach that no amount of food can fill. People ask me about the war sometimes, about Korea, about what it was like being a prisoner, and I give them the sanitized version. I tell them it was cold. I tell them we didn't have enough food. I tell them it was hard, but I don't tell them the truth. I don't tell them about the rats, about the dirt, about how far I went to survive. Because how do you explain that? How do you tell someone that you ate things that make you sick to think about? That you became an animal to stay alive? That you lost your humanity in a frozen prison camp in North Korea and you've never fully gotten it back? I survived. That's what matters. That's what I tell myself. I survived when hundreds of others didn't. I made it home. I lived. I had a life. But survival came at a cost. And that cost was my dignity, my humanity, the part of me that says there are lines you don't cross, things you don't do, even to stay alive. I crossed those lines. I ate things no human should ever touch. And I've spent 71 years trying to forget the taste, trying to forget what I became in that camp, trying to reconcile the man I was with the animal I had to become. The other prisoners who survived, the ones who did what I did, we never talk about it. There are veteran reunions, support groups, but none of us mention the rats, the dirt, the degradation. It's an unspoken agreement. We survived. That's all anyone needs to know. But I'm 78 years old now. I'm dying. Cancer. Maybe a year left. And I need to say this out loud before I go. I need someone to know what starvation really does, what it really means to survive. Because survival isn't noble. It isn't heroic. It's desperate and ugly and degrading, and it leaves scars that never heal. I ate rats. I ate insects. I ate leather and bark and dirt. I ate things that weren't food, things that shouldn't be eaten, things that my body rejected and my mind tried to forget. And I did it to stay alive, to keep breathing, to make it one more day. Was it worth it? I don't know. I survived. I came home. I lived a life. But I also carry the memory of what I did, what I became. And that memory is heavier than anything I ate in that camp. This is my confession. Not for forgiveness. There's nothing to forgive. Survival isn't a sin. But it's also not a victory. It's just what you do when the alternative is death. And sometimes, what you do to survive changes you so completely that you're never the same person again. I'm 78 years old. I ate things no human should ever touch, and I'll die with the taste of it still in my mouth. Leave a comment if this means something to you, and subscribe if you want to understand what survival really costs, what you give up, what you become, what you can never take back.